Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a Q&A on labor and delivery based on all the questions you asked me. While you're here, don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. The first question is, what did not happen during my labor that I expected to happen? And to be honest, I really expected that at some point I would ask for the epidural, at least ask for it, and I never did, surprisingly. So that for me was the only thing that happened that did not happen that I expected to. The next question is, did I asked for a specific dose of pitocin, or did they give me the full dose? So for all 4 deliveries, I had to have pitocin. And the first delivery, I was very resistant. Luckily, my OB is smarter than me and made me go get induced. And so with that labor, she allowed me to start at half a dose every hour instead of the full dose every half an hour. And I felt like that helped me kind of gradually go into labor a little bit more naturally. With Eva and Ellie, I don't even really remember. I think I got the full dose because those were way worse. And then with Crew, I got the full dose, but I was in labor a much shorter amount of time, so I really did not get a lot of pitocin in my system. For question 3, the question was, how do you handle the pain? I don't know, actually. Really, a lot of it is mindset. Going into labor, you have to have the mindset of kind of expecting that it's gonna be painful and how you're gonna handle each contraction. I tried to stay in the moment of each contraction versus thinking ahead and trying to think of like, oh my gosh, I still have this many hours or this much time. Because the crazy thing about labor and delivery is you really don't know. It's like you're running a marathon, but you don't know how many miles you have to actually run. If you get ahead of yourself, it can become overwhelming, and I feel like the pain gets worse the more overwhelmed you are. So I tried to really just focus on my breathing, really picturing, the baby moving down with each contraction, and then I'd get a break sometimes, and so then it's nice. Your whole body feels euphoric almost. So then I would really focus on those moments and how good I felt with the absence of pain. And then I would get the next wave and kind of do the same thing, and you just kind of keep doing that, and then all of a sudden you look up and a couple hours have passed. So if you try to get ahead of yourself, or if you focus on how much it hurts, it actually makes it a lot worse. So mindset is everything. Next question is, which was my easiest delivery? And that completely easily would be my last and final with Crew. It was super short, and he was smaller. He was positioned perfectly. I think start to finish, my labor was 2.5 hours, and with hard labor being an hour and a half. He delivered in less than 5 minutes, so it was far and away my easiest and most, I don't know if I want to say enjoyable, but enjoyable because it was so short. The next question is, was each labor and delivery easier as I went on, or were they all just different? And they definitely were just all different. I really believe that the way that babies come into this world, it kind of sets the tone for their personality. For example, Cullen, his labor was just nice and slow and gradual, and then he was in a good position. He came out nice and easy, and he's kind of that guy. He's just a rule follower. He's pretty easy. He's very slow in moving along in his tasks. So then I had Eva, where everything was fine, and then all of a sudden the pitocin contractions were shooting crazy, excruciating pain, one on top of the other, no breaks between. It was like torturous in a way, and she tends to have some mood swings, so that kind of matches her personality. Ellie's was by far my hardest, where I think it scarred me a little bit, and maybe why we waited so long is part of the reason why we waited so long to have a 4th, and even made me question if I wanted a 4th. Labor was excruciating the whole way through, and her delivery was fast and furious, and she was sunny side up, which was extremely painful and very tough on my body. The recovery after was very difficult as well. And to be honest, I'm still trying to recover from Ellie pretty much every day. But that's her personality. She does things the way she wants them, when she wants to do it, how she wants to do it, and she's really loud while she does it. So that seems to match her personality. So I hope that Crew, his personality is just like his labor, where it was short and sweet and easy and just delightful. What is the tea that I drank specific to pregnant women? The tea that I drank the brand was Pink Stork, which I really love. They have a ton of great products. I'm not like an advertiser for them. I just really like their stuff. So you should look into them if you're pregnant or even after delivery. But during pregnancy, I would do a red raspberry leaf tea. What that does is it actually helps strengthen the uterus so that contractions are stronger and more productive, which I really felt was true with this delivery. This was my fastest, easiest delivery. I felt like each contraction, one, I was probably better at relaxing and like understanding how to work with the contraction. But two, I really believe that drinking that tea helped kind of push the labor a little bit faster because my contractions were a lot stronger and did a lot more per contraction. Question is, what was my first meal after delivery? This time around, we were a little more prepared, so as soon as we got to the hospital, Jeff went and grabbed Jimmy John's sandwiches actually so that they were ready right when I was done, because he knows pretty much as soon as I'm done with everything and we have like a minute, I'm ragingly starving, so he was prepared this time and made sure I had food ready to go. But really my favorite meals ever when I deliver, because it's right across the street, is my Flower Child and Sweet Republic ice cream. We were only in the hospital, I think, for 24 hours this time with Crew. So I had Sweet Republic twice in one day just to make sure it was worth the visit. The next question is, do I track macros during pregnancy and breastfeeding? The answer is loosely. The only time I track really specific with my macros is if I'm really going for performance, which I have not been for a while now. So I actually go more towards my template program during pregnancy and delivery. It's a little bit more, it's a little simpler to follow, a little bit easier to kind of go by, and gives you a little more freedom. But it still keeps you really balanced in all of your meals. And so I always know I'm getting enough fat, because that's the real big key during pregnancy and breastfeeding, is that we have enough adequate fat in our diet to make sure that that milk supply is good and to help with brain development when you're pregnant. So I really actually go more by the template, which is macro based, but it's not specific numbers. And I have a specific pregnancy and breastfeeding template that I use. The next question is, how long did I breastfeed, and does it make a difference with postpartum weight loss? So I have so far breastfed each child past a year, about 13 months with each of them. Do I think it makes a difference? For some people, I know that they drop weight fast with breastfeeding, mainly because you're burning a lot of extra calories to produce that milk. However, personally for me, I feel that I kind of retain extra weight until I start to wean the baby and completely stop breastfeeding. I think it's my body's way of protecting my milk supply. I'm not sure. I think everybody's a little bit different. So I know, like for right now, I drop the initial weight after delivery, and then I kind of stay stagnant at a number. And then again at like 6 months, when I start to introduce some solid foods, I'll drop another little bit because I'm breastfeeding less. And then at that 12 to 13 month mark, when I completely stop breastfeeding, I usually drop my last 5 to 10 pounds. So for me, the weight loss is pretty stagnant. The next question is, do I have any recommendations for increasing milk supply? The first thing I always go to is, what does your diet and hydration currently look like? I think that's the best way to start with milk supply, is to make sure that you're eating enough calories, first of all, a balanced macronutrient profile per meal, and that you're hydrated. So not just a lot of water, which that is part of it, but also the vitamins and minerals that supply your electrolytes or supply hydration. So potassium, sodium, magnesium, those types of things. Once we get that done and are consistent with that, and if we don't see an increase, then I might go to like a lactation support tea. So like fenugreek and things like that, those can also help produce some more milk for you. But generally I find that once we get a really balanced meal all throughout the day and balanced macronutrients, specifically higher fat, milk supply seems to be okay. The next question is, after a C-section, how do you avoid injury to the abdomen while working out? I have never had a C-section. I have worked with plenty of women that have, however. It's a major surgery, so a lot of times women are hard on themselves about it, like they think they should be back sooner. And I try to always remind them that this is a major surgery. And so just like you would have physical therapy after knee surgery or shoulder surgery, there should be some physical therapy type exercises that you do before going back to working out to help strengthen and support that injury, essentially. So I do my own postpartum routine after every baby. It helps with diaphragmatic breathing connected to the pelvic floor, and it helps to bring those abs together, because all of us, whether we had a C-section or not, all our abs have spread. And so getting these exercises help bring the abs back together for one, but then especially for C-section moms, it helps to start to heal that area a little bit better and make sure that we're utilizing our core in the correct way, so that we're not putting too much stress on just our rectus abdominis muscles, that we're using our transverse abdominals, our lower body as well, our glutes, all of our pelvic floor kind of working together with the diaphragm, so that it's a more balanced approach to how we engage the muscles versus only one side or the other engaging while we work out. So I stay pretty strict on the C-section mamas. As far as like sit-ups, we don't do any of that stuff for a long time. We do all pelvic floor stuff. And then once we test and there's no more diastasis recti, and we have those abs back together and they're getting a little bit stronger with our pelvic floor exercises, then we'll go to more stabilization, so like planks and things like that. And then we can go to more of an active movement like sit-ups, crunches, toes to bar, that sort of thing. And the last question is, did you experience nausea with any of your pregnancies, and how did you stay motivated to work out? Yes, the short answer is yes. With the girls, it was a lot worse. And luckily for me, with all of them, it was like when I woke up on that 12th week, and as soon as I was into that second trimester, I would wake up one day and the nausea was just gone. So it does pass. The hardest thing to do is to eat, but that's the best thing to do. At least for me, it helped kind of that nausea pass a little bit faster. And really the whole pregnancy, I mean, nausea is one aspect, but then towards the end, you start to get really tired. And so there's just a lot of reasons not to work out, I guess. And it's really simple to not work out. But it kind of goes back to mindset. So the same thing during labor and delivery. My mindset was always, okay, I know I feel better when I move. I know it's good for the baby. I know it's good for my body. I know it's going to help prepare me for labor and delivery and recovery. And so some days I would just say, you know what, let's just put our shoes on and just walk over to the bike and just start moving. And sometimes that was all I did that day. And then other times I felt better, and so I could do, maybe the full workout that we had programmed that day or a scaled version of it. But really the hardest part is just getting your shoes on and starting to move. And I feel like once you start doing that, you can stick to whatever you're gonna do. And for some people it's, just get your shoes on and get in the car and drive to wherever your gym is or wherever you're gonna go work out. For me, I'm here all the time. So for me, it's just get your shoes on and get on the bike. But taking that first step, just commit to putting your shoes on and getting in your car, and just know that you always feel better afterward, and it always helps no matter what with your pregnancy. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I answered all the questions you had. If you have any more that I didn't answer, feel free to shoot me a message. Also, if you're interested in my upcoming postpartum workshop and clinic, message me on Instagram at Dead Red Kitchen, and I will get you on that mailing list. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, and stay on the lookout for more videos from us.